arguing every day for a very simple point, and that is local economy and the free market. I argue that every day because I think we need to understand how it works. And it is a positive message. It is a very positive theory and theme to have local economy and the free market as your goal, as your modus operandi, as your agenda. It is, I would say, your credenda agenda. That means in Latin, your belief and your duty, right? Your belief and your duty, credenda, what you believe, your credence, right? The thing in which you give your credence, your credibility, right? That's your credenda. And you have your credenda, and then you have your agenda, what you're going to do. And today you need to call city council, because city council members, yours and those representing other districts, are about to make a blunder. They're about to make a blunder because they believe in old systems. Now, I'm the first person to say we should be Nooga-centric, right? We should be geocentric, which puts the Earth at the center of the universe. And we should be, perhaps more importantly, we should be Nooga-centric. That is to say that Chattanooga is somehow the center. And if there are ideas and concepts and people who are the best for us, that we should pursue them. And we should do so recognizing that we're in a particular place. Now, like I say, I'm very much for the land. This show is about place. This is a Nooga-centric show. It is geocentric. We think that somehow we are, the center of the geography is where we happen to be, right? There's the here, right? Everybody who says here with me, and that here is Chattanooga, we're in the same boat. And that's true whether we're Democrats or Republicans or liberals and conservatives, or whether we're libertarians or members of the Episcopal Church, or whether we're Presbyterians or Muslims. Because we're here in Chattanooga, we are in God's providence. That is to say, the providence of the God of the Scriptures, and we have a duty to help other people to prosper. Our duty is to be helping other people prosper. That's why we're here. We're here in our businesses and our families to help them prosper. You, my listener, labor hard every day, right? You have arguments with your wife every week, perhaps, on how to govern the family, how to make the children more responsive, more receptive, more taking of their duty, more caring for others, right? Trying to get that son to do something charitable over the summer, not just do his own thing, right? Just do his own thing, the bike riding and the game playing and the basketball court events on Saturday evening. How to get that child to be charitable. These are the work you're doing. We want to think about the other, and the city council is about to make a mistake. It would seem that the form of the mistake is one that I would approve of. And that would be, we have a map, right? We believe in land. We believe in place. We believe in geography. With geography controls. In fact, I'm reading a book now. I'm slogging through the middle of it. I'm kind of getting a little lost in it, and it's called it's by a favorite writer, and it's about the tyranny of geography and how geography really controls history in many ways. And it's a book that emphasizes the power of geography over the affairs of states and nations and wars and trends and the like. It's a book that helps me make my point about being a geocentric person, where the Nooga experience is at the middle, right? Well, the problem that the city council is trying to solve, it can't solve with a map. It can't solve by saying we have control of this area of land, which is in the confines of the city limits, the municipal corporation of Chattanooga, city of Chattanooga, Hamilton County, which is the company name. And we're going to control what happens inside of it, but we're going to control what happens inside of it unjustly. And that's the plan, to make it unjust and to make it arbitrary, and in the end capricious, which is the problem. You can't act unjustly and you can't act arbitrarily and capriciously. You can't act by treating one person this way, banning his business, shutting down his business, and then saying, you over here, this way, please, right this way. We are here to help you to prosper. You are part of a $2.5 million industry in Chattanooga, and we want to help you to be part of a $3.5 million industry next year, which is to say the Airbnb home vacation, temporary home vacation rental marketplace, which is online, right? It's an online system, a self-reinforcing, self-sustaining, self-governing, private voluntary mechanism where willing people, travelers, and residents get together, and guess what? While the residents are out of town for a month, they're taking their South Africa trip, going to Pretoria to do some surfing on the beach. These other people, the travelers, are in their house, and they've all made arrangements. They're all looking at each other. Everybody wants to be well rated in this self-governing system. The homeowner wants 5 stars. The visitor wants 5 stars too, because the visitor wants to be invited elsewhere on his travels in that system. So there's no need for government regulation. Every party, as was pointed out in City Council yesterday, regulates itself. Each side regulates itself, and so there's no danger to the people around them. But that is what's motivating the whole threat against the gig city. The threat from the council is against the gig city, against the ideal of an international city, an environmental city that has made a reputation that has, I'd say it has weak to middling strength as a global reputation, thanks to the people such as Dave Crockett back in the 80s and 90s who started the whole thing. These are good, kind of leftist sort of people, right? Dave Crockett, kind of an environmentalist, not sort of quasi-leftist, quasi-libertarian, local public figure who claims to be the leading Nooga centrist, pushing me off the pedestal. But anyway, that's who we are. We have a reputation. Gig City is part of it, and Gig City means openness, right? The internet is about openness, where things are very cheap or things are free. That's the internet. And here now we're saying, well, no, hold on. You're part of an internet network, a part of a voluntary social service network of inviting visitors to Chattanooga to stay in private houses, and we're going to prevent that. We, the city council, we're going to say no. But you think you might want to be in that district? Well, okay. Well, you got a month. You got a month to apply, and everything about the council meeting yesterday was about threats of schedule. There were breathing of threats. There was concern by Carol Burrs that, what, you mean to say that we're going to ban these relationships outside this district? Well, and you're going to give them an extra month? That concerns me. That gives me pause, she said. Well, that kind of thinking is, I'd say, present among many of the council members, though some didn't really say anything. Some of the new ones were not willing to commit, really. And Ken Smith, I think, among the council members, had the most articulate questions about the rights of people. But even he, as a conservative, didn't really go as far as the marketplace argument, as the liberty argument would require. His conservatism did well for a short run to the gas station, but here we need to have conservatism that will take the car to the next city, right? And that's what we're not getting anywhere with the conservatism that we have on the city council, from what I can tell. There's not an advocate of the marketplace. There's not a defender on the city council of the rights of property and due process rights, which face violation if this map is passed. Now you say, well, David, there's a safety concern. Don't you care about safety? Well, let's just look at that for a second here. Okay, that's a vital argument that I'm trying to get the proponents of this plan to defend. I don't have everybody lined up yet, and I'm having trouble getting a hold of people. Lee Earl, for example, who's a resident of Bell Harbor. I've tried this one to get him on the program, and it's probably just a scheduling conflict. But we want people to come here and defend. In fact, you can, if you're a defender of this plan, please call me, and we'll get you on the air right now. We can do it right now. Okay, just call me, and we want you to talk. We want you to give we got 10 minutes before my next important set of messages. 800-8949, 800-8949, 800-8949. That's my number. Get a hold of David Tulis, and we'll love to, wear his ear out for him. Wear out my ear. I'm glad to listen. I want to listen. Okay, I want to understand in detail the threat. Now, since you're not giving me a call just yet, let me give your argument for you. Okay, why do we need to have control of Airbnb? It's public safety. Okay, this is if you have public safety, you're always going to want to have the surveillance and the police handy, and that's what we heard a lot about yesterday. The whole meeting seemed to be devolving, if you will, upon surveillance, enforcement activities, non-compliance, resistance, court action. That's what we heard about the whole meeting yesterday. Donna Williams leading the way. Donna Williams representing the mayor, Andy Burke. Very progressive. She's very progressive and likes to talk about the power that we can exercise against people who are bad. The bad people in the meeting yesterday were those who don't care about public safety. Right? They don't care about the well-being of people. They just want to make money. They just want to have their private cash flow based on their houses to make money, and they somehow are not caring about the general weal, right? The public weal, the commonwealth here in Chattanooga. And the reason that these people are concerned about the freewheeling internet, right? If they're concerned about Gig City, they're worried about the liberty that's implied in the Gig City. They're wary of too much of it. We really need to be careful. Well, here's the problem. Why you have a house, okay, and your neighbor is in the Airbnb network. The problem is that there are different people there. You don't know these people. No, you don't know them. They come with rented cars, very nice cars, most of them, nice four-door sedans. Some come with SUVs, the latest model of the Expedition. And one or two have come in very nice sports cars. Maybe they belong to these people. But anyway, as you've gone to get your mail in the morning before you and got to get your Time Tree Press in your red box there at the street, you hear foreign tongues in that place. These are people whose morals you may not know anything about. You know, they may be Muslims, they may be Hindus, they could be queers. You know, they could be going to a queer event in Atlanta, and they're spending a couple of nights here because they want to look at the sharp points of the aquarium in the proper form so that they can see the pyramid, right? The pyramid that is created when you twirl that facility at just the right angle, you have the pyramid. And they like the pyramid. And they also like the breaking of the spires as well. As you walk around it, you can break up those spires visually. This is something that even people who aren't queer enjoy, right? And so they're here looking at the aquarium. They want to go to the Tivoli, and other sets are here with strange trailers. And look, can't quite tell what's in the backs of those trailers. Could be boats, could be hang gliders. Not quite sure what those things are. Canoes or wings? Not quite sure. The bushes are obscuring what you're seeing, and so you're worried, right? You're worried about the neighbors. Who are these people? Others are wearing turbans. Just, are they Indians? Are they Muslims? It's just not. Are they Sikhs? What are they? Others speak, sounds like German, could be Bulgarian. And another party came with two cars, and then late at night, there were headlights that flashed against your window. Someone turned into the parking lot, and you heard doors slam. You heard some burbling of voices across the street. And that was all. You were standing on the porch taking a smoke, right? And you heard these sounds, and you were just concerned about that. Who are these people? And once you met one of the people there. He was a man there with his wife in the house across, and they had a teenage son. And the teenage son just looked kind of strange. He was smoking, and it looked like that he had a beer in his hand. You can't drink beer if you're a teenager. And you thought, well, man, that kid, he might come across go into my garage and steal my new steel drill. He might take that. You look at that teenager as he kind of skulking around there as you're talking to the parents, and you just kind of worried about it. So you see, this is public safety interest, right? And because we have this concern, we need to make sure that the people who are renting the house are vetted. We need to make sure that they have good morals. We need to make sure that they have smoke alarms, and that that there are locks that have keys, that no one is going to be locked in the house. If suddenly by sudden combustion the house bursts into flame, people have to be able to get out. And so we want to make sure that the owners of the house are not going to try to kill the visitors. We want to make sure that there's no trap, there are no dangers, no mines, no exposed knives, maybe on the bottom of a railing going down to the basement, that kind of thing. We don't want there to be homeowners that are trying to injure visitors, because that would give us a bad reputation internationally. See, the safety interest is key. And so we have to know intimately ourselves, we in city government, we have to know who these renters are to protect the strangers. And the strangers, well, we just need to make sure that we don't have bad people coming here, because there could be a rape. We might have a stranger who comes and he rapes someone. We might have a stranger who comes and burgles somebody on that street. And he's there. He's not really there to rent. He's there to steal. He's there to burgle. And he's there to gain kind of an insight into that nice neighborhood with those nice cars, because on the left and right of you are executive mansions, right? And there's hired help. You can see the hired help on both sides of your house. And the man across the street who's there for not sure how long, he's been there for several days. He could be casing out the joint. That could be a danger. 800-8949. 800-8949. So the public safety interest has inspired an important number. And the number is from Darren Ledford, one of the new city council members. And he said in an interview with me that 500 people have told him that they're concerned about safety. And that's why we have to do something. We can't just let this go. We can't just take our hands off Airbnb. We can't do that. We have to have our hands on it, because we are in charge of safety. We are in charge of regulation. We're in charge, as he knows, public health, welfare, and morals. And that of course, is a legitimate police concern. Tennessee has an authority called the police power. And its pretext is always those 3 points: public health, safety, and welfare. But the question that we want to ask the backer of this map is this: are the injuries feared sufficient to be actionable in court? And the answer is no. None of the injuries feared are actionable in court. The strange voices, the foreign tongues, the improvements in the property across the way. Think about it. If the guy across the street has an Airbnb, he's going to make his property look nicer. In fact, he's got the carpenter over there now. He got 2 sets of carpenters. He's got a brick mason there. He's putting up a wall. He's trying to fix up the joint. He's trying to get more money out of it. Is that it? Trying to get more money out of it? We see the problem is not that the changes are deleterious or bad to the neighbors. It's just that the neighbors don't know. Maybe they're jealous. Maybe they don't like dealing with strangers. Maybe they should move out in the country, but they live here in the city. And so they offer to Darren Ledford 500 of them negative comments about this marketplace, this digital gig city, international, global, ultra galactic marketplace. They are complaining about it, and they're using the rubric of safety. We feel unsafe. We feel unsafe. And so we want you, city council, to illegally and unconstitutionally, if that's what it takes, well, so what? We don't care. Just do something, okay? Just do something to protect us. The dangers feared of are not real wrongs, right? Every Airbnb member, every member of every of the other alternative platforms are doing nothing but using their property in a harmless, innocent, and innocuous fashion. Nothing that they're doing is an actual actionable injury to anybody else. It's not. If they were doing something that was actionable, well, guess what? You have the courts, right? You have circuit court. You have chancery court. There you can file a complaint, have a lawyer to write it up for you if you want, or write it yourself. You can file a complaint and say you've been damaged. This neighbor who is an Airbnb member has damaged me. And here's what he did. And here's what his guest did. And so you see there, you have your remedy. But public safety, it acts on things that are not there. They're acting on fear. Fear. And do we want a city council that acts on fear? A city council prompted by fear? I mean, Darren Ledford said, I've got to listen to my constituents on it. Well, no, you don't, Darren Ledford. You have to listen to the law, and you have to listen to the larger idea, which is the free market. The free market has a louder voice than 500 ignorant people who have acted and expressed themselves on fear. Which is it, Darren Ledford? You who say you care about the marketplace. You who say you're a conservative. You who say you are for liberty and for the proper and right use of private property to the benefit of multiple parties, right? The owner of the land and the many visitors who come as part of this digital economy network. Do we want digital economy? Do we want gig city, or don't we? I have a feeling that city council has not really thought these questions through. And so it is about to make a mistake. If I judge by the general good reception that this measure got yesterday in city council, I'd say that we are facing a step. And therefore, the headline at Nooganomics.com is appropriate. I do suggest you go to Nooganomics.com and read this important report. This is an important report, and you need to call your city council member to say, get off of the internet, get off of the free market. Let people alone. Forget the map. Just let it go. Just ignore everything. Ignore that people are acting illegally. Ignore it. The headline, Gig City flames lower as council imposes map on internet. Sad day.
In-depth traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Picture that curl of steam rising from your fresh-made pizza. And in a flash, let it take you aloft, teasing all your senses. I'm talking about Jet's Pizza. If you eat out at Jet's in Hickson or take home your steaming